Angel Reese is a wonderful player. Absolutely. Plays hard, both ends. She's not Rookie of the Year.
Woo! What's up, guys? Welcome back to Charge the Game podcast. I'll be your host here, Chuck. And in this moment, we are going to discuss Dan Patrick's take on Caitlin Clark, Rookie of the Year. For those who don't know, Dan Patrick is a sportscaster, NBC analyst. So he's been around for a very, very long time. Very well-respected guy. And we're going to get into his reaction of the Rookie of the Year and see his views. Make sure you guys get in here, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video. Let's go.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I've been listening to you for a long time, and you get me through the day. But anyway, I just want to talk about the Indiana Fever. I never watched women's basketball before, and what Caitlin Clark, she's so different than anybody I've ever seen. And I only can compare like to Magic Johnson or Larry Bird. Like her passes are freaking amazing.
Real quick, guys. I tell you guys in all my videos, Caitlin Clark, her IQ, the way that she is dishing the ball it looks Lake Show-esque. There are nights she looks like she can point guard like old school Isaiah Thomas in Steph Curry range. I mean, this young lady is a combination of so many great NBA players that we've seen. I'm not saying that, and I don't think that this guy John from Iowa is saying that she is on that level, but you can't help but just have flashbacks of these greats when you see Caitlin Clark play. I mean, I don't think people realize, like, when I see her dish the rock and I see her teammates fumble it, it's because they can't believe it. I mean, literally, guys, this is history. This is something special that we are witnessing, and people, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because of, racism. I don't know if it's because she's a woman. I don't know if it's because, some people just favor, Angel Reese and others far more. That's okay. But whatever the case is, man, Caitlin Clark she's just special.
Yeah, they beat Minnesota in Minnesota. That's a big deal. And Caitlin Clark, see, that's the thing. There was a player earlier this year that said, she's kind of one-dimensional. All she does is shoot. And I said, well, that player is...
And he's talking about Kennedy Carter, guys. We all know she tweeted out, besides three-pointing, what else does she do? Seriously. I mean, I know that she has eaten those words day after day after day after seeing Caitlin Clark's success. And not to mention that they have fallen to Caitlin Clark 2 out of the 3 times that the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever have met. And she has brought far more to the game than just three-point shooting. As you guys hear, this fan is in Iowa, meaning he was not interested in women's basketball at all. Even when Caitlin Clark was there as a local, going to college, this guy got turned on to sports because of that and has been a fan ever since. I mean, and it, for me too, like, we are men. Men were not watching the WNBA. Anybody who thinks that it is because of anybody outside of Caitlin Clark, you guys are lunatics.
Because she is a wonderful passer.
Oh, my God.
And you have to have that ability. And sometimes you get it from other sports. You played soccer growing up. To be able to see something before it happens. And that's a lot of what soccer is.
Yep.
It's something happens to something happens, and then it's going to happen over here.
I didn't know Caitlin Clark played soccer. It makes sense, though. And soccer and baseball are one of the 2 main sports that transition over to other sports very well. Like, if you look at Patrick Mahomes, a Russell Wilson, a Kyler Murray, a Deion Sanders, a Bo Jackson, like, they all play baseball, so their hand and eye coordination is more different. The way that they see the view of the field is so different. And it's just because of that other sport that they played where they had a different view of a different type of field. And when you go to another sport, it's like that sport opens up and it looks more easier for you, and you make it look more easier based off of that first sport experience. I mean, we see what Patrick Mahomes is doing. It's no coincidence, right? And Caitlin Clark, she has that same vision. She has that same court vision. Obviously, when you're playing soccer, you're going to see multiple things that have to happen at a fast pace while you're moving at a fast pace. So it actually does make sense. I didn't know that.
See maybe 2 or 3, moments before
Right.
a big play.
Yeah.
And it's not something can be learned. I think it's, something instinctual that she has. And they're playing well.
Yep.
I go back to what I said about Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. The WNBA tried to capitalize on her popularity and crammed a lot of games in over a short amount of time, playing against the best teams in the WNBA.
I'm not going to say that I don't understand their angle. What I will say is they did her a disservice. If you're going to give her a jam-packed schedule like that, it would have been more convenient for her to play some of these easier teams back to back. And this is why I make such a hard case for Caitlin Clark. Okay. Caitlin Clark started off with one of the worst schedules, going against the top dogs in the WNBA. And look at her standings right now. Look at where I think the Fever are 7th place. And you mean to tell me that, if we're going to make this Rookie of the Year comparison, let's look at Angel Reese's situation. She walked into a better situation. She walked into more veteranship. She walked into more better talent. I mean, let's just be honest, guys. Let's not sit here and continue to fool ourselves. We got to be real with this, guys. And Caitlin Clark has risen above all, conquered the giants, a.k.a. these butch-ass veterans, and she is still in playoff standing despite her coach sabotaging her, despite her teammates sabotaging her, and having different relationships with women who despise her on opposing teams. Caitlin Clark is still relevant. She is still in playoff standing despite all of the turnovers due to them, majority of them, not being able to catch the ball and finish at the rim. I mean, get out of here. I mean, stop. Make it make sense, guys.
She struggled. And they started out 0-5. And then all of a sudden, she was overrated.
Right.
And she had played a full basketball season, little time off, and then you start the WNBA.
That's tough.
And you're starting the WNBA against everybody as a really good player. Everybody's talented to get to this point. And they were rested.
Right.
So I said, once she gets a break and then plays, some of these other teams, then you'll probably see her play similarly to the way she played at Iowa. She's not going to be scoring 28 points again, at least not anytime soon. But her ability to pass. Now, I know she has a lot of turnovers. She's trying. Now, that can also be an indictment on her teammates as well.
What?
But she is always looking for the pass.
Always keeping her teammates involved, guys. I told you this. If Caitlin Clark really wanted to stat pad, Caitlin Clark could do that with ease. I mean, if she wanted to just aim to get a triple-double versus a double-double every night, you guys don't think that Caitlin Clark can do that? You see the way that she passes the ball. You see her range. That could be a double-double there. And she can get a few steals, right? A few defensive rebounds, right? And she could have a triple-double. But she doesn't try to stat pad. She has earned a lot of my respect simply because she's just handling herself with class. No one is willing to help her. And she's just going through her rookie bruises all on her own. You don't see no veterans arm and lock or putting their arm over her and the OGs supporting her. No, they're making it hard on her. So I feel like for her to still be as poised mentally, I mean, guys, think about the college run that she had, making it to the championship, losing, bearing that loss, having little time to recover mentally, and physically. She's thrown into the lion's den with all these hating, petty, butch WNBA women, and they're arrested, fully charged, and she's outclassing most of them. There are some that are still better than Caitlin Clark, that is true, but Caitlin Clark, she's just a whole package. That's what makes her so marketable. Her poise, her class, her resiliency, to just keep going. And a lot of people resonate with that because it is truly the underdog mentality. Hence, making her America's new sweetheart.
That was a big win, and right now they're in the playoff race. But there's still a lot of basketball left to be played. And even, you have people, everybody has their opinion on who's the rookie of the year. And Dawn Staley, great coach, South Carolina, came out and said, well, this is expected of Caitlin Clark. She's supposed to be great. She's not the rookie of the year. Angel Reese is, because that's a surprise.
What? Oh my God. Oh my God, guys. What a way to get my morning started. Dawn Staley, let me get this right. Caitlin Clark is supposed to be great, right? If she's supposed to be great, she's expected to do all this. Think about that pressure alone, where people say you are expected to be great. And Angel Reese is the rookie of the year because it's a surprise that she's halfway good. Are you serious? Like, when has good ever beaten great? Never, never. And Angel Reese, guys, let's just be honest. She does not have a bag or a game that transcends into like domination. Like, I'm a dominant player. Yes, she took over that second half of the game versus the Indiana Fever. But that was more impact. That means that it could be a lot of missing, okay? A lot of hits and a lot of missing. And that's just not reliable when it comes to a player, a superstar player that's supposed to show up every single day. Caitlin Clark is that. Caitlin Clark is the core, literally the core. Without Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever fail drastically. And for Dawn Staley, I guarantee you, if you take Angel Reese out of the starting lineup, the Chicago Sky will still win a certain amount of games. Let's just be honest. They will still win a certain amount of games. Think about this. You take Caitlin Clark out of the lineup, guys, and not only will the team fail, the ratings will. That's the impact. None of the fans are going to watch the WNBA. Everybody just wants to see this white girl. At the end of the day, everybody wants to see this white girl, including myself, including a lot of people who know basketball. And this is not the rookie of the year. Dawn Staley said it with a straight face. I mean, you can't make this up. You guys saw the video I made with Shaq. It's just like, come on, guys. You guys have seen superb talent. You guys have seen what it looks like to witness a generational talent, especially Shaquille O'Neal. So, when it comes to this whole rookie of the year debate, I mean, I just think it's safe to dead it now, especially since Angel Reese. I mean, the streak is over. I mean, now she has to come up with another way to grab the media's attention.
Should LeBron not have won the rookie of the year?
Right.
Because he was supposed to win it?
Right.
We're creating arguments here.
Exactly.
And really, there's none. Angel Reese has had a really good year. A double-double is something that we can go, oh, I can grab a hold of that. Man, she's got double-doubles. Okay. She does just about every night. Caitlin Clark has a bullseye on her back every single game.
Thank you.
You must stop her.
Yep.
I don't think you look at Chicago and go, boy, if we stop Angel Reese, we're going to win.
My case in point. Okay, guys, what I just tell y'all, if Angel Reese is on the floor, nobody's putting their defensive pressure on her. I mean, they did the last game or the game before the last because they wanted to just stop this streak. Obviously, people are tired of going around, participating in this go along, get along situation. You take Caitlin Clark off of the court, everybody's at ease. You put Caitlin Clark on the court, everybody's alert. I mean, look at how they're defending her. That's what's expected out of a generational talent, guys, because you don't want to let her get loose because she's going to be able to do things. And she just has a gear in her that allows her to see, move better than a lot of people on the court. And I mean, I can't make that case for Angel Reese. Nobody's out there saying we got to shut Angel Reese down. I mean, Angel Reese is just eventually she's going to throw herself into you anyway, just trying to get a rebound and pad her stats. So I just look at that and I look at the situation with Caitlin Clark and it's just a no-brainer for me.
That's why this is a silly argument.
Silly.
Caitlin Clark is the rookie of the year. Angel Reese is a wonderful player. Absolutely. Plays hard, both ends. She's not rookie of the year.
Woo! So there you guys have it. Dan Patrick gives his take. One of the best takes I've heard. He delivered it very well. and I agree with him. You know, I agree with everything that he said. I would love to hear your comments and what you guys think about it. So make sure you drop those comments. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel. See you guys next time. Peace. Yeah.